but nice to go with KD. So I'll start off because KD's on my fantasy team, and I was pissed. I was pissed. So
You're still
basically,
getting worked out regardless, though. But keep
we'll
going.
see, man. Sunday's a long day, you know. We'll see. Um, so KD for the most part was gearing up, getting ready to play, but then they announced. I got the update from Bleacher Report basically saying that he wasn't going to start because of an issue with the contact tracing. They were waiting for a delayed test to come back, or the results were inconclusive, which were not allowing him to be on the court. So at this point, I was a bit confused because I didn't understand why they didn't just rule him out. Like, I understand why you're delaying the test. Like, it's either he's playing or he's not playing. Okay, cool. They said, okay, you can play. He comes in the game, does his little thing, plays around, and then gets benched. I'm wondering why he's benched. Turns out that they said they had to pull him from the game because of the inconclusive test. So my personal opinion, this is a slight on the NBA. Looks horrible because it's like you're not doing your job, right? Like, it's one thing to say that you're going to have inconclusive tests and that you have to be really precautious with what you do with players so that you can avoid contact tracing and the spreading of the virus. But at the same time, like, be consistent. Like, if you knew that you weren't going to have the resources to determine whether or not he was eligible to play, just hold him out. Don't make him start and then pull him out, and then you guys look like fools. So, to me personally, that was a really bad look for the NBA because it looks like they just don't know what they're doing at this point. It's just a shot in the dark. What do you guys think?
It's fuckery still because you can't, as Rob just said, you can't put me in the game and then take me out, and then afterwards you release it as an inconclusive test. If you didn't know, you obviously err on the side of caution and not play me. It's that simple. And then you look at what KD said after the game, and he's saying like he's basically saying that every move that the NBA is making is a PR move. They don't really care about their players. And at this point, I have to agree because we're talking about his health and other players' safety, but you were waiting on a test result and you tossed him out there on a national TV in a national game because you wanted Mans to see KD out there playing. And once you got the test, you pulled him out. So now you look stupid. And for me, I think all this adds up this with that plus this whole all-star thing, which we're going to get into later. I think it's just starting to look like their actions don't match their words. As the tweet that Katie replied to saying, they're using words like an abundance of caution, all those key words that make it sound like they're really saying something, but they're not saying anything. At the end of the day, it's about the bottom line. And as an organization, as a company, I think we can all say we understand why it's about the bottom line. But as a player, I just don't want to be lied to. It's that simple for me.
Facts.
Yeah, this was the creme de la creme, fam. This was the mess, fam. Like, this was the mess at the table. Like, the NBA completely made a mess of themselves on national television. It's ridiculous. Because me, first of all, I'm like, I know KD has the antibodies. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand that you can catch it again. So I'm saying, all right, KD's out again for the second time in the season. That's fucked. But it is what it is. 20 minutes goes by. Then I'm hearing KD starting. And I'm like, all right, so I guess the test came back just in time. I still didn't understand that, though, because when Zion had an inconclusive test, he had to sit his ass out until the next morning. But just like man said, national ESPN TV game, we need KD on the court. You got to play, fam.
Got to be
So
there.
once you do that, man should have the wherewithal in the league office to understand that, listen, this is a national televised game. It's a better look to say that the following day, it turns out the test was actually whatever the case is, than to actually take him off the floor that exact same night. Somebody had to know that. And Adam Silver had to know that. Had to. Because mans are going to take it way different than you're actually pulling him on. You wouldn't have got the outburst from KD. That's all. That's for a fact.
Facts.
You wouldn't have got free me. You wouldn't have got that. And the NBA is in a position to where now, bro, like, it's the fans are fully in support of these players. Fully. So it's not even like KD goes off on Twitter and you're not going to hear one fan say, yo, KD, you have to really chill out. Because at the end of the day, we understand it. It's fuckery. At the end of the day, it's fuckery. And they made a mess of themselves. Now, moving forward, mans were already skeptical. Mans like me was already skeptical. Our nigga Pat, he was fully skeptical, you know what I'm saying, about like how they're handling this. You know, the wishy-washy day-by-day rules are changing. Now we know for a fact that you guys are handling this case by case, player by player, situation by situation. And that can't fly, bro. That can't fly. So now a man like me that was in favor of the All-Star game, I can't even be in favor of that no more. Because I can't trust you guys. You lost the trust, fam. Now I'm saying, yeah, scrap the shit, bro. Scrap it, because you guys don't know what you're doing.
But I think, to be fair, just with the pandemic and the environment that we're operating on in, you have to kind of deal with it on a case by case scenario. I think the issue is that you're not releasing the information. Like, you're not being transparent. If everybody was transparent from start to finish, I feel like nobody would have any issues if guys had to sit out, be pulled, this and that. But it's like, you guys are giving this impression that everything's good to go. You guys have it under control. And then when you fuck up, we're looking at you guys like you guys are idiots. So I think it's not even a matter of dealing with it by case. It's just a matter of being transparent and letting everybody know what's going on as you go through the process. Like, we understand this is a changing situation, right? Like, every day is a new day. There's a new factor to consider. So,
See, fam, I don't even agree with that, because we're talking about protocols.
but the protocols have to
can't
change, bro.
It can't change though.
But it has to change. If coronavirus
no, but take this in. No, coronavirus is changing, but the handling of coronavirus should be stagnant. It shouldn't change anything. It just shouldn't. Because take this in. Very crazy comparison, but if you come to my crib and the protocol of my house is you take your shoes off before you walk into my crib, that shouldn't change by the weather outside, fam. When you step into my crib, the shoes are off. But that's the same shit, fam. Like, just because it's raining, now you take it off, or when it's sunny, you can leave it on. Nah, fam. I run my house a certain way. The NBA should be running coronavirus in a certain way, fam. So if you have an inconclusive test, it should not matter if a man has antibodies. It should just be you're sitting it down. You're sitting it down until the next day.
Do I see it? It's common sense. If you're using words like abundance of caution and you have an inconclusive test, what do? You err on the side of caution. You don't play. It's that simple. Those are the words you're using. So you can't use those words and then come out and say, and then put him on the court. He racks up 4 fouls and you pull him out again. That's fuckery still.
Yeah, he was making a mess of himself out there. That's the next thing. But
that's not even for a man coming off injury. Realistically, for a man coming off injury, for him having to start and stop basketball so much, it's actually not good for him.
Yeah,
right? But we understand, like, it is what it is because he's coming into contact with these people. But a man like that who caught COVID in March, who's continued to test negative but has to keep sitting down, that shit has to be frustrating. And then mans are playing with your minutes now.
That's why you're saying free me.
This guy has a game not started now. That might be his first game he didn't start in the NBA.
Yeah, facts.
Facts. I never thought about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, like, that's facts. That's facts.
Yeah, to a Hall of Famer, that means a lot still.
Yeah, a man like me, I would have said, I'll lie you next game still.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's crazy.
At least he can say that he handled it correctly.
Who, him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I believe he feels like he handled it correctly.
I thought he was wilding. Am I wrong?
Nah, he was wilding, but like sometimes you have to wild out to get the point across.